Bach cello suites are really special in our music for this instrument. And what they are is a kind of collection of dances. There are 6 movements for every suite, and they always start with a prélude, which is like an introduction to the dance. And in a prelude, often it's kind of warming up the key. You really hear the tonality of the whole piece. It's usually goes the whole range of the instrument to warm up your hand. If it were an organ piece in church, maybe that's when the other instruments would tune a little bit with the organ to make sure that they were in tune. But when it's just the solo cello, it provides sort of a welcoming introduction to the rest of the suite, which is always followed by the allemande. The allemande is a dance where you can imagine that the VIP, the most important person of the ball, is entering. It's the entrée of the dance. And so they come in. You can even hear sometimes in the allemande the kind of steps that this VIP, maybe queen or king or duke, is taking. And then after the allemande, we have the courante. The courante was one of Louis XIV's favorite dances. It's a dance in 3 always, and often it's fast. You have the Italian kind, which means to run, corrente, that sometimes is flowing and running. And in the 5th cello suite, we have a more French style courante, which is a bit slower. And the 4th movement of every suite is the sarabande, which we now think of as kind of the slower movement of the whole suite, but it can be fairly moving. It's usually a very beautiful and touching movement of the piece. And even though it's possible to try to dance to this music, it's not that Bach's cello suites were intended to be performed at a ball or with dancers. They mostly are inspired by the dance movements, and they work well in the instrumental sort of concert context, or maybe they could be played in church or at a private function. And so the 4th movement is the sarabande, and then the 5th movement of every piece is a pair of galanterie, which is the short dances like a minuet or a bourrée or a gavotte. So we have minuets in the first 2 suites, bourrées in suites 3 and 4, and gavottes in suites 5 and 6. And these are all different dances, very popular, especially for people in the city who are nostalgic about life in the countryside. So sometimes they are sort of rustic and boisterous, and they're a lot of fun to play. And there's always 2 that go together, maybe one in a minor key, one in a major key. And the last piece of the suite, the end of the suite, is the gigue, which is usually a very lively and energetic piece, with a lot of jumping and hopping, and it's a great way to finish the suite, usually with some kind of excitement. So enjoy all these movements, and see you at the concert.